Today I want to talk to you about Mary Slessor. I don't know whether you have heard about that lady, but that is it's one of those things that the people that are far away, we hardly know them, and after they died, that's it. But they are not forgotten by everyone. So let's talk about Mary Slessor. Mary Slessor was born on the 2nd of December 1848, and she died on the 13th of January 1915. I'm using Wikipedia as my guide, but we could find our details in many places. She was a Scottish missionary to Nigeria, and she was born in Scotland, in Aberdeen, to a very poor working class family who could hardly afford proper education. She was the second of 7 children, and her father, originally from Buchan, was a shoemaker by trade. Her mother was born in Aberdeenshire and was a deeply religious woman. In 1859, the family moved to Dundee in search of work. The father was an alcoholic and he couldn't continue his trade, so he took a job as a laborer at a mill. The mother was a skilled weaver and went out to work on the mills. Age 11, Mary started working on the mills too. And she spent half of her day at school, provided by the mill owners, and then the rest of the time she was in the factory, like many children in those days. The Slessors lived in the slums in Dundee. The father and both brothers died of pneumonia, leaving behind only Mary, the mother, and 2 sisters. By the age 14, Mary had become a skilled jute worker at the mill, working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., just 1 hour for breakfast and lunch. And eventually, she applied for the Foreign Mission Board at the United Presbyterian Church. She trained in Edinburgh and then set sail to Nigeria in 76. At that time she was 28, and she was first assigned to the Calabar region with the Efik people, Efik tribe. And at that time she was warned that they believed in West African traditional religion and had a lot of superstitions, and one of those things she learned was about the killing of twins. That thing was mentioned also by Achebe in his first novel, and that happened all over Nigeria. People thought that as human beings we should not give birth like animals. So if you give birth to more than one child, then it means you are giving birth like animals, and so they need to be killed because they are monsters. So anytime a woman was found to be with twins, the twins were killed immediately after their birth. They were just pushed into a big pot and then left to die in the forest of starvation, basically. And Achebe recalls how when he was a child, one day passing through the forest, he heard the cries of newborns, and all the children and him ran away. It was a sad story. And thankfully, the mothers of twins became the first Christians because the Christians welcomed them. Just imagine being a mother, having lost one or more sets of twins, ending up childless and mourning forever. So those women ran to the mission usually to be saved with their children. And that's what Mary Slessor consecrated her life to do, saving the twins. She saved more than 30 of them, and eventually she adopted a certain number of them. So she stayed in the missionary field, worked in Calabar, then went deeper into the bush, contracted malaria, was forced to return to Scotland to recover in 1879, but then she returned to Calabar the following year, and with a new assignment 3 miles further into Calabar in Old Town. Then she continued, and according to our biographer, she enjoyed the unreserved friendship and confidence of the people and had much influence over them, especially because although she was alone and single, she never married, but she had a very strong personality that she built in infancy when she was working as a child in the mill. And among the people, she went to places where no other missionary had dared come. Many have been killed, but she was not afraid. And she stayed there for 15 years. She was speaking the Efik language, made friendships everywhere, and she was very well respected. In 1892, she became the vice consul, presiding over the native court, and in 1905 she was named vice president of Ikotobong Native Court. She was respected until the day of her death. She suffered a lot from fevers, malaria, and others, but she had such an influence. She changed stuff, not only the killing of twins, but also the orderly, that's the killing of women through accusations. It was a system that if somebody has been accused, like adultery, then the person will be given a poison to drink. If she dies, it means that she was guilty. If not, then she would recover. But Mary Slessor stopped that from happening. And she got many honorary titles from the Efik, in particular Obongawan Okongong, that's Queen of Okonyong. And several memorials were built to her. And she had a high school named in honor of her name in Arochukwu. A Mary Slessor Road in Calabar, Mary Slessor Roundabout, Mary Slessor Street in Coventry, and so on. One of the female hostels in UNN and Nsukka is named Mary Slessor Hall in her honor. This was just a humble girl, a worthy role model. And I challenge you, do something too with your life.